Hey everybody, Logan here. Today we're discussing and comparing two of the most popular third-party brands that make controllers for the Xbox. Why? Because, well, people are rather interested, and it's amazing how many of these controllers sell by these two manufacturers. Bet you're expecting me to talk about games, sir. No, they are a great company, but we're comparing two of probably the biggest third-party ones. One you can get at Best Buy, but mainly online like Amazon and through their website. The other ones, well, you can buy anywhere. And that first one, 8BitDo. This is the 8BitDo Ultimate C controller, and then, well, the other one's PowerA. And this is just their standard wired controller, and they have a plethora, if you will, of controllers to choose from. We're going to take a look at some of their more popular ones as of right now, compare them, and well, maybe this one will help you decide just which controller to pick up or which brand you might like better. Help you purchase your next Xbox controller, maybe? Let's find out. This portion of the video, we are going to take a look at, let's say, 7 different controllers, 4 from PowerA, 3 from 8BitDo. The thing is, 8BitDo has a lot of variations of the same controller, so I'm going to show you one of their older models and then their newer stuff. PowerA, I'm going to show you their basic, I guess you can say their 4 most popular lines right now. Now, this might be tough for you to decide because of price, but after this, we're also going to take a look at their website so you can see a bit more of the offerings in terms of colors and whatnot. So first, let's start off with the most popular controller on my channel, and that is the standard PowerA wired controller. Why? Because, well, this is the least expensive one. It's readily available whether you're at Walmart, Target, GameStop, Best Buy, whatnot. Every store, every major store that sells video games has this controller. They've got them in red, they've got them in blue, they got them in pink, they got them in purple, they got them in white, they got them in black. Oh, wow, the colors. And the thing is, most people don't want to spend an arm and a leg. They don't mind wired. All of these are wired except for one in this video because, well, Microsoft doesn't license out their wireless technology, and, well, if you do find one, it's dongle supported, but we'll get into that later on. So this is a wired controller. This is their older one. This is one I think that's been around since 2022. They have updated it since then with the new colors, but otherwise the controller itself is still the same. It's very reliable. It's standard ALPS sticks. It's got membrane buttons, but it has a much better D-pad than the standard Series X one, which has that disc one that a lot of people have voiced their opinions that they do not like. And the buttons are significantly quieter. Now, some people complain about stick drift. I've had this one since 2022. It's been a workhorse for me. I've used it with company. I've used it to test out games. I've used it just as a standard controller that sits by my Xbox in my office. You name it. I've used this for years now, going on 3+ years, and no drift whatsoever. It has my favorite anti-friction rings that the standard Series XS controller does not have. I think it's better to have anti-friction rings than, well, not. It just makes it a smoother, easier to use. I do like the stick caps on here. If you want, you can add other ones. I recommend Skull & Co. Those are my favorites, but there's plenty of other ones out there that you can get. It doesn't feel like the most high-end controller. It's not. This controller can be found as low as $19.99 depending on where you're going, but the average price is $26 to $29. If I'm not mistaken, I think the least expensive one on Amazon right now goes for $26. If I'm not mistaken, I think the highest one with a different colorway is around $29. But you can pick this up at Walmart. I was there the other day and saw that they had the blue one for $26 flat. So you can always do that, and that's a very inexpensive for a wired controller that gets the job done. If you're not trying to play competitive with all the extra programmable buttons, trigger locks, or any of that, this is a solid option. Now, if we go and look at the 8BitDo version of this, you're looking at this, but it's kind of one step above. This is, well, the same one, no Hall effect sticks. They have upgraded this ultimate one. This is called the wired ultimate controller. No Hall effect, like I said, there is an updated version, but you have everything you would have, just a slightly better D-pad. No anti-friction rings here because it is the older model. You do have headset jack right here like you do on all of them, but here you also have a mute toggle. This one you don't. Now, programmable flappy paddles in the back. Some people love them, some people don't. Now this thing is, you're going to find this one for roughly around the same price, around the $30 mark if you find the older one. It's harder to find the older one. You're most likely going to find the newer one, and then it's going to cost you a bit more. But this is pretty much on the same level. No detachable cable. This one has a detachable cable. So you have that, and a lot of people who like wired controllers, like myself, prefer the detachable cable. It makes it easier to store, and well, you don't have to worry about yanking from the console if anything happens. Now this older one, as you can see here, has a detachable cable down here like the older Xbox controllers. So you have that breakaway down there. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you're purchasing the older one. But do I recommend this one? No, I would recommend the newer version. I do not have the newer version because I have a newer, even different version of that, and we'll get to that in a second, because we have another PowerA one to compare this to, and that is the Advantage. So this one, they have plenty of different colors and graphics and images. Good God, we'll see those later on. But yeah, this one is going to be more on par with the Ultimate, except one step above. Why you say that? One, you got the graphics, you've got anti-friction rings, you got a solid D-pad that you have on the standard wired. Everything else is the same, but when you look at the back, flappy paddles and trigger locks. Now these controllers can go anywhere from $34 to $39, and that's just what I usually see. Don't be surprised if you can find them cheaper on Amazon during a sale or a promotion, something like that. Keep an eye out for that. But if you're just walking into a Walmart or a Target, you will find these in so many different variations. Your head will spin. So depending on which one you want, I would say check their website to see what they have, or if you're at your local Walmart or Target or Best Buy, take a look, because they all have different options. This is the Sonic the Hedgehog one. This one was actually sent to me via PowerA last year, and I think this is a fantastic controller. This one is also detachable wired with a Type-C, so that's a bit better. Now this one I don't normally use because it goes on display with my Sonic Switch Pro controller, because I do have one of those from PowerA as well. That's another good thing. PowerA has a lot of licenses if you like certain characters, depending on, you know, the games you like. Fortnite is one of their more recent ones, along with the Sonic. So you do have those as well. They also have proprietary designs and art, which are just fantastic. Different gradients and lizard. There was a lizard skin one. It was really nifty. Otherwise, they just have a lot of extra colors. But there you go. You've got this one, which definitely holds its own towards that. Now, if we put that aside, there's another one. There's definitely another one, and this one a lot of people like, but it's a little more controversial, if you will. I use that loosely. And that is the Pro 2. Now, the Pro 2 looks like the Super Nintendo controller mixed with the original PlayStation controller. Why you say? Because they had the Pro, which was exactly a Super Nintendo controller without the grips. So they added the grips, and with the sticks here, it mimics the PlayStation. But you can clearly see it's got that Super Nintendo inspiration with that D-pad and the 4 face buttons, very Super Nintendo-y. Now, this is another one. You look at the top, Type-C. You got your buttons here, just like every other controller. You've got every standard 8BitDo controller has those buttons on it. You got your power button, you got your star button, depending on what you're using. So you've got programmability on one, or you can just use the app. I always recommend, if you're doing anything with any of these controllers, download the app on your Xbox. But just by themselves, you're going to have to look into each variation of the controller, because depending on which controller you get, they'll have different functionality, from turbo to macro to whatnot. But I recommend just using the app. But right here, they just don't do anything until you hold and then program. But that's another story. They do have programmable back buttons just like the other ones. You also have programmability back here. So it's very similar to the Ultimate. Every button you would have on here, but in that Super Nintendo meets PlayStation style. There are a lot of people who like this. To me, it's all right, but if I'm playing an Xbox game, I need to have a controller that feels like an Xbox controller. That's just me. But this is a fantastic controller. All of them are very low latency. The PowerA ones, which have a slight bit higher latency than some of the 8-bit do, but you'd have to test them out. That's for another video. But I will tell you, the 8-bit do have slightly bit lower latency on these models you're looking at here. Now, we will get to two of the higher end PowerA ones, which have extremely low latency, and those are fantastic. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So this is a fantastic controller if you're looking for an alternative in the 8-bit do, I guess, assortment with that PlayStation meets Super Nintendo style. Now, these two I'm going to show you here are very much the two most popular that I've seen for wired controllers from these brands that are not basic entry level. And that is the Ultimate C and the Fusion Pro 4. Now, there are previous models in the Fusion Pro series, but this is the one I recommend if you're going with wired. It is the most recent, and it's rather affordable. This one is much more affordable. The only thing is it doesn't have mappable flappy paddles. This one does. But let's put this down for a second. This is one of the most sought after Xbox controllers right now from 8BitDo. There's different color variations you can get. I chose the orange just because I like it. You have what's called fire rings. They're anti-friction rings that light up. So once you plug it in, you can see it. I'll link the other videos. Well, I have a ton of videos covering all of these individually as well, so oof. But Hall Effect sticks. This is the second one with Hall Effect sticks. This one does. There's two variations, one with and one without. Make sure you get the one with Hall Effect sticks. Same thing as this one. Variation with and without. Make sure you get the ones with Hall Effect sticks. Why? Anti-stick drift. This is the most popular one that I've seen thus far, but the only gripe I hear about this one outside of wired, but if you're complaining about wired, this isn't for you, are the lack of the flappy paddles. To me, I do not care about flappy paddles because I'm not a flappy paddle user. You know, if they're back there, depending on the game, like GTA, I'll map them. One will be reload, one will be jump. That's about it. But otherwise, yes, I think this is a fantastic controller. Probably one of my favorites to ever grace my path. I think the Ultimate C is definitely the way to go. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Ultimate 2C in the future, because we just got one for the PC, and then a variant came out for the Switch as the 2C as well. So keep your eye out for a 2C Ultimate for Xbox. Now, comparing it as most people do to this one, not sure why this is next level. This is the Fusion Pro 4. Why is this so special? We'll go over it just by looking at it. You've got rubber grips, you've got mic control on the front of your controller, you got headset jack, you've got Hall Effect sticks that are height adjustable, so you can make them higher or taller without having to remove the sticks. It's a really nice feature. I thought it was a bit gimmicky at first until I started using it on the next controller, you'll see in a moment, but I think this is an awesome addition. Great idea from PowerA. Type C, you've got textured shoulder buttons, and then once we go to the back, this is where all the fanciness starts. You've got 4 programmable buttons with 3 different levels of trigger locks. This is the one that I see most people going for. It has the lowest latency of all these controllers. So we'll take a look at the website and we'll go from there. And then you can make your decision, but it only comes in black. There's no fancy lights or anything on here. That is for the next one. And the next one is the ultimate bad boy, which has a built-in rechargeable battery because this is wireless. It runs on a dongle. It is, yes, I added stick caps to these because I like stick caps on my controllers. Like I mentioned earlier, you have adjustable sticks, just like the other one. Very quiet membrane pads. Audio on front. You've got jack in the bottom. Type-C, sync. You have programmable and mappable buttons for the back here. You have LED button. We'll see that in a second. You have three-way trigger locks, again, and more buttons back here. This is wireless. It does come with the stand, but booyakasha. Some people complain about this and they say it's gaudy or something. I'm like, then don't buy it. Go with the Fusion 4 wired. But I think this is fantastic. I love the colors. They're like, it's distracting. How are you looking down at your hands while you're playing? No, this thing is amazing. This is my favorite controller. Extremely low latency. From what I have read recently is there was an update put through that is now 1000 hertz. I can't verify that. I've not been able to run it through any programs to see that is exactly running at 1000 hertz. But when I have access to a program that can, I have ones for PC, but for some reason, the PowerA and some of the others, it doesn't recognize it, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, you have your rubber grips in the back. It's smooth in the front. I think this is honestly the best controller you can purchase from either of these two companies. This has been my workhorse daily driver until just recently. I picked up the new Razer Wolverine V3 Pro. Like I do with all my controllers, I run them for about a week, and I'm still running on that one. And then after that, after the week's over, I go back to usually my favorite one, and almost every time it's been this bad boy here. This has definitely become my favorite go-to controller. It's just, it has everything I've ever wanted in a controller, especially for a pro controller for the Xbox. And I think this is top tier. Now, it all depends on how much you want to spend. These range anywhere from $20 up to $170, depending on when you're buying it. I wouldn't say... I have seen places online selling the Fusion Pro wireless for up to $200. It's not a $200 controller. PowerA does not do that with that one, so you don't have to worry about that. Check the prices as you purchase. We are going to look at both of their websites so you can get an idea of what prices have gone up and gone down and changed. Prices have changed significantly since I've acquired these controllers. The PowerA ones, all of these were sent to me except for this one. This is one of my first ones when I really started getting into covering controllers for the channel. And 8BitDo, they don't send me anything, but hey, maybe they'll see this, maybe they will. But I've purchased all these throughout the years. These have been my workhorse 8BitDo controllers. Now, what I mean by workhorse is I use them quite a bit. I personally have 4 Xboxes in my house. The one that I have in the bedroom, we use one of the wireless ones and the standard Xbox wireless one. But the ones in my living room, I have one in my living room, one in my office, and one in here where I'm recording is my game room. My game room go-to one is this one, because when I'm relaxing and I want to play, this is the one that I consistently use. Now, for the one in my office, it will usually switch out between this one. It went from these two quite often. And then this is the other one that I swap out here in my game room. if I'm running a wired controller, or say the battery in this has died and I have to put it on the dock. If it's not this one, it's my GameSir G7 SE. So that should tell you a few things. Like I said, this was my backup one for many, many years, or my go-to one in my office when I was just recording, as well as this one. Yeah, that shows you everything I use, how I use them, what I think of them. And again, I've covered so many different controllers, and I would definitely recommend these controllers. All of them. I have not had any drift issues with any of my controllers in this frame right here. Not a one, not a lick. I've had this one for over 2 years. This one almost over 3 years. This one I got last year. This one I got last year. Last year. Well, all within 2024, and the older ones, well, you can do math. Yeah, now you know what we have to do? Take a look at the websites so I can show you the different options that are available. I'm not trying to sell you any of these. I'm just trying to show you, hey, you have options. And, well, there are plenty of new ones out there as well since I bought all these. Let's go take a look. First, we're going to take a look at PowerA's website, and bam, right on the front page, what do you see? The Fusion Pro Wireless. Why? Because, well, it's their big boy. It is their flagship controller for the Xbox. And you can see they make stuff for all three major consoles. The PlayStation, unfortunately, no controllers, but for the Switch and the Xbox, they do. But if you want to take a look, bam, what comes up? A number of the Xbox, you have the Advantage wired controller, which is like the Sonic one that I showed you. You have the Nano enhanced wired controller, which is just like the standard wired one, but smaller with flappy paddles on the back. The Advantage has the trigger locks. So these are some of their more popular ones right now. That is their GameCube one, and it's funny, this is for the Switch. Just, I don't know, about, I would say in 2018, they released this one with the Switch logo. Now it just has Toad. Interesting refresh, but hey, it's out there, and I purchased it myself just because my original one here, I left the batteries in it, forgot about it when I moved, and left it in the box, and they corroded, so I had to take them out. I cleaned it, it still works, but I decided to get a replacement. But that's neither here nor there. Let's look at the Xbox offerings. Like I was mentioning, the Fusion Pro 4 is $69.99. It's on sale for $59. This is a $70 controller at its highest, but $59.99, it is a steal. Now, if you keep going down, I have covered these in the past. There's the Advantage with Lumectra if you want the lights, but it's a bit more expensive. And, well, from my understanding, it's not one of their best sellers when you can compare it to the Advantage wired. So again, we're looking at Advantage at $29.99 right now. That's a bargain. So here we have more of the Advantage. I told you they come in so many different colorways. There was this one, the XP Ultra Wireless, which was at $100, and now it's at $79. It's the only wireless one that is officially wireless. It is licensed by Xbox. But will I, put it up there with some of their best? No, that's why I didn't feature it. It's a great controller, but I would go with the Fusion hands down over. If you keep looking, you have so many different color options. You have, there you go, $149. $149. Wow, I remember seeing this. I can't remember who had it, but it was at $170 at one point. I was like, well, that's a little overpriced. So $150 is the going rate for the Fusion Pro Wireless. I think with everything you get, and if you compare it to say Elite Series 2, I think this is a better controller. Some people will fight me on that, but Hall Effect 6, it's just, yeah, it's leaps and bounds. And one, it's significantly cheaper, and you have everything built in, and you have the epic lighting. So if you keep going down, like I said, there's the wireless one. It is a version of the Fusion Pro, but with no lights and no charge dock, and at $50 less, and that's a Fortnite themed one. So if you keep going, there's all kinds of different ones, and there's so many products. I'm looking for the least expensive ones. I know they don't. There's the Sonic. This is the Fortnite one that I had covered. This one I saw at Walmart. This one's currently on sale, if I'm not mistaken. I still haven't decided to pull the trigger on this one. It's not one of those that is their big ones, but I just think the artwork is just fantastic. It's the same as the Sonic one, that's why. Here's the I guess you could call it, oh, they call it the Raptor Chrome. It looked like a lizard to me. It was really freaking cool. Let's keep going. Look at all the options. That's the thing. If you're looking for something inexpensive with a ton of options, you've got it here. Here's the wired one that I featured in the video with the comparison. You guys saw it, of course. $29.99 is your standard. I think at Walmart I've seen this for $26. And I know on Amazon, as the time of recording, the blue one's $26, the other ones are $29. But $30, you really can't go wrong. They have this one as well. This one was really cool. I do like this one, but this is the Nano. The Nanos are smaller and too small for my hands. But if you do have tinier hands, dainty hands, ladies, or hey, guys that don't have big hands, you've got this option too. So here you go, but there's so many options. Now you're going back and you can see some of the older ones. The Fusion Pro 2, they no longer make these, but you can see it just says learn more, no way to purchase them. And well, yeah, so you can just see some of the other options that are available. There's bajillions. Now we need to jump over to 8BitDo so you can see what they offer. 8BitDo, here we go, and we will go to, there you go, the Ultimate 3 mode. Now that is one that I thought was a rather deceiving one because it's wireless on PC only, but otherwise it's a wired controller. Now this one, the mini wired, I did cover in the past, but it's just a smaller version of the C with the fire wings. But let's go to the products, and if you look, latest products here, we can take a look at Xbox. Look at these. Look at these. So this one is the mini. It's going to cause you a seizure if you stare at it too long because of the flashing. This is the mini. This is the C. There you go. And then you have the 3 mode. You have the Pro 2, and then you have the updated Ultimate wired here. So let's click on that. And here it just shows you where you can get it. Order now on Amazon. You can't purchase everything through their website. So that's the only thing. You have to rely on Amazon, or like I said, you can get it through Best Buy here in the States. Let's take a look at some of these others. They have green, they have the orange, and then they have the black, and they're the 2 colorways, so the back is tan on each of them. I like the green, but there's something about that orange that really popped for me, but that green is really nice. The only thing is you don't have as many colors as you do when you shop with PowerA. PowerA gives you a ton, but you've got so many quality builds here in 8BitDo. Here you only got the black and the white, but the Switch variation has a ton of colors. But Switch is for a different video. Like I said, this is the Pro. You have the Pro 2. This one I do not own. I own it on the Switch. I own this one on the Switch, the Pro 2 on the Switch. There has been this one to be recently released, but I don't see that as something I would be able to use. Now, I was thinking about reviewing this on the channel, the 8BitDo Lite SE 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller for Xbox. So you do have that as a wireless option, but it is not ergonomic. It's for, accessibility, and that's fine. There's a great amount of functionality there, especially if you cannot hold a standard controller. I think this is great. It's a bit larger. So there you go. You got plenty of other options. You've got this one, which is like the Sega Genesis controller. I went to pick this one up, but I was like, the price on it was a little higher than what I thought at the time that I wanted to spend, I think it was like $35, $40 for a wired controller that did not have any sticks. If they added the 2 sticks down here like they did with the Pro, maybe so, but I chose against this one. But you can see there's plenty of options for you to choose from, whether you're going with 8BitDo or PowerA. Well, I'm hoping that helped you out. So you were able to see a number of the different most popular versions of both PowerA and 8BitDo's controllers, as well as the selection from their website and what they offer. Now, are you going to go with PowerA, or are you going to go with 8BitDo, or are you going to be like me and just buy them both because you like them both? Are you going to use one for wireless, one for wired? Are you going to use one in one Xbox, one for another? Are you going to have one as a backup? What are you guys going to do? Tell me in the comment section below, which controller brand is your favorite out of 8BitDo or PowerA? Which ones do you own? Which ones do you use? Which ones have you had great stories? Have you had any horror stories? Let me know. Drop it in the comment section below. I want to hear everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. God bless you all. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.